Rickie. Good to have you on
Hi,
the show. Yeah,
hi,
welcome.
okay.
Yeah, good. You've obviously been a busy man. We've been trying to get hold of you for ages.
Yes, I apologize. Yes, we were supposed to do it last week, so my apologies.
No problem. We understand it. We're busy ourselves as well, so it's it's an ongoing thing. Well, for those of you that are out there that are not familiar with Rickie, maybe Rickie could give us a little bit of a bio on yourself.
Eh,
Bit of background, especially for the people who don't really get football and the old ones,
oh, that's fine. That's fine. So, yes, obviously, I'm an ex-professional footballer. I think people know me mostly for my time at Southampton and Liverpool. But I had a long career, played over 700 games. Scored 242 goals, played at every level, from League Two all the way up to the Premier League, the Champions League, and played for England in the World Cup. So
Wow.
that is kind of my story in general, is how I became from coming from the bottom of football all the way to the top. But yes, I've been retired now since 2017, and I am a current under 15s, under 16s football coach at Wigan.
At Wigan.
At Wigan, yes.
Oh, right, okay, fantastic. Well, that's brilliant. So, what woke you up, Rick? Yeah, when did all that start for you?
Do you know what? I think when I really think about it, I think from a very early age, I knew there was something not right with this country. When I was 10, 11, Hillsborough happened. Hillsborough, um, the 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 crush at Hillsborough, where the Liverpool fans, 97, died, and that was a absolutely devastating period for this city. But what made it worse was that the government and the newspapers made it out that it was the Liverpool people's fault, which at the time, even at 10, I was like, Dad, I don't understand. Why are they doing this? Like, why are they saying such nasty things about us and my friends? And my dad was like, this is what the government do. This is the way the government treat people and stuff like that. So that was my first initial feeling of, this is not right. This is not right, the way people are getting treated by the government and by the mainstream media. So that was my initial thought. But throughout my career, I knew that the world was not, there was something not right with it, especially the monetary system. But I never really stuck my head out to the side because I was focused on football. I was there. I was like, you have to be fully into football. You have to give everything, and you can't really have too many distractions. So when I was coming to the end of my career in 2016, 17, I started taking my head out of the stand and started to um, research, try and understand what was actually on around the world, especially with the monetary system. Done a lot of research in the monetary system of the Federal Reserve, which then took me on to other things, which took me right down the rabbit hole. And I went all the way down to all the way down the rabbit hole, and I found it very difficult. For a couple of years, I went under, to be honest, ladies. Yeah, I went under. I couldn't handle the scale of the lies, what had been pulled over our eyes for centuries.
It is quite unbelievable, to be honest, Rick. I mean, we was the same. We sort of like woke up. The biggest thing for us is the children. And when we found out about the children, we was literally on the floor crying for 2 weeks. We could not stop. And then you just think to yourself, well, what do we do from here? You have to get up.
Yeah.
You have to get up and you have to start doing more research. And that's what we did. We spent hours, didn't we? Probably the same as you, and probably for many people out there, doing the research, because you have to.
Yes.
Can't rely on anyone's, comments or anything. People have to find it out for themselves because we've relied too much on hearsay.
Yes.
And people, the mainstream mockingbird media out there for lying. And going back to what you just said about that, that disaster in that football situation there, what we've learned now is all these dates and things that they do is they're all to do with like sacrifice, certain dates, what they do, disasters, people dying. They do it.
What date was that?
Yeah,
What was the date on that?
It was in 1989. It was.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I'm sure it was August. Oh no, it was. No, it would have been round about. Do you know what? I don't know. I can't remember.
We'll have to have a look
We'll
on the
check that up,
internet.
but it would be interesting to. We don't have to do it now. But
Interesting
to have a look at
to
have a look at the dates around that because we know about these like satanic, these.
Do you want to? Would you tell us a little bit about Hillsborough and like what happened? For people who are living abroad and they're watching this and they're like, "What's this Hillsborough?"
She was,
because you had first knowledge, really.
No, that's fine. So Liverpool was playing Nottingham Forest in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and it was at Sheffield Wednesday's ground. And around that time, the crowds would gather outside the stadiums. Every team, like Liverpool, Man United, all the big teams, they would take way more fans than what would get let into the ground. What happened at Hillsborough is that the chief superintendent opened the gate because there was trouble outside and there was people trying to get in. The superintendent opened the gate and pushed everyone through into the to where the rest of the fans were standing. Now, if you know this ground, it was a bottleneck, so everyone went through this tunnel and then out into the stands, which were all standing, which had metal barriers separating them. So people at the back were trying to get in before they got thrown out, which then created a crush at the front of the stand. Like I said, 97 died. Absolutely devastating day for the whole country, the whole football fans, but especially Liverpool, and the families who lost their loved ones. It was absolutely devastating, and I remember the day. It was like all over the news, and it was like people panicking because they knew that their family members were at the game, and it was whether their family members were one of the dead, and it was the numbers were just going up and up and up, and it was a absolute, like I said, I was 10. It was a horrifying day, and I think it caused a lot of trauma to a lot of people in that day.
I remember it being on the news. I was a young married woman with 2 kids at that point, but I do remember it, and it was.
So that was devastating. That was absolutely devastating. The day after, the Sun newspaper put a spread out across the front page saying that it was the fault of the Liverpool fans. Not only was it the fault of the Liverpool fans, is that while people were laying dead on the grass, Liverpool fans were going through the pockets of the dead, robbing the money and urinating.
God.
This was on the front page, and I remember looking at that and, like I said, saying, "Dad, why are they putting that?" I could not believe it. I could not believe it, and that front page has stuck with the people of Liverpool for 30 years. 30.
That is horrible.
To this day, a good majority of people still think that is the truth, and that Liverpool fans would do that to their own people. So that has been absolutely devastating
Terrible. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, that bit I didn't know because there's no way I would have bought the these. I didn't buy newspapers for
No.
Yeah.
years and years anyway. So that is. my
But
God.
yet to remember that from the age of 10, and obviously the trauma that it's caused to Liverpool.
Well, it took 30 years for the justice to be served, the people of Liverpool and the people and the Liverpool fans, because until then it was blamed on the Liverpool fans, where the Liverpool fans were always adamant it was the misguidance of the police in charge, but not only, it was the lies afterwards,
Well, we know
what they done, which then damaged the Liverpool city even more, and they kept that lies right up until the end, until a judge had to prove to the world that these people, including people in the government, lied to make it look like it was completely the fault of the Liverpool fans, and nothing to do with the police and nothing to do with the government. So it took 30 years to get that justice.
That's horrible. I mean, going on from there, fast forward, you recently attended a rally in Liverpool at was it the council building or the town hall? I think it was.
Town hall, which is Castle Street, which is obviously the main building in Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch some of the one guy that was going around and filming, and the filming was quite telltale, with police comments telling people that you're conspiracy theories or something like that too, and as they were going into the side entrance. But what stuck out with me is that the fact that all those the people, I think they've got the LGBT lanyards on, even the councils. Those rainbow coloured lanyards, I noticed on that, and people was over that side of the road thought that the people on the other side of the road, who was just protesting because they want justice done, was there because of like some sort of discrimination. So you can see where the lies have coming out. But what really struck me is that I did speak to you about this on the phone, and you said, because I said, what was everyone doing that side of the road? Because there was all these the flags, and other countries. So I'm not going to mention what country they are. We don't want to get struck up with using certain words, but you know what I'm talking about, and why everyone was on that side of the road with another country's flags. And then there was a guy around doing interviews with somebody talking about socialism parties and all sorts. So there was a mixed sort of bag there, Ricky. I mean, can you tell us about the events on that day?
Yeah, so obviously I was trying to promote it with a lot of other like names in the city and throughout the country, really. So when I got there, again, like you, I was very confused to what was actually going on, because I thought we were standing on the steps of the town hall, but you could clearly see that there was already a group of people of protesters surrounded by police, so protected by the police, on the steps. And I didn't know what they were shouting at first. I didn't know what their agenda was. It took me a while to understand what was going on. And then all the people on the left-hand side, on the opposite side, was obviously the people who I was a part of, who was there to protest mainly against the 15-minute cities, but like the council in general, just not listening to us, allowing us to have our say, and then to listen to what they were shouting towards, like fascists.
Yes,
and
I picked up on that.
But I was like, and one of them, it was such a surreal few minutes. So a gentleman there went over to them and said, "Listen, you're calling Rickie Lambert a fascist there. Do you understand what you're doing?" And he said, and he looked very confused, and he said, "We've been told to come here because there's a group of the users supposed to be against immigrants coming into this country. So that's what we've been told." And
I thought
we were like, no, we are to protest against the 15-minute cities. And they started looking at each other, and some of them started getting off because they didn't have a clue why they were there. Now there was a core of them with a microphone just shouting random stuff. Didn't make no sense. And then I seen an MP stood with the Antifa, members of the Antifa, which again, it was really starting to make sense to me that the council, the government have done this on purpose
Again,
to divide the city
Yep.
and divide the protesters, to not let our protest hit as hard as it could, and to dilute. It was there to dilute our protest, which was damaging. It was damaging, which I've seen protests and I've seen Antifa, and they was quite aggressive towards some of our members, and the police had to interact a couple of times. But obviously, being there firsthand, it was confusing at first, but it quickly made sense that this is a tactic. This is a tactic by probably the Secret Service of this country to try and divide the protest and not let it get the most impact that we were aiming for.
Coverage that was needed, but basically that was like so apparent on the videos that I seen. Definitely, their media was there because they want the impact that you are being fascist about, and racist, because they always want to use the racist card. But the only people in England that's got most races against them are the English people at the moment. It's quite ridiculous, really.
what do you mean?
So basically, because you're there and you're doing for the 15-minute cities, but they want to do everything to make it look like racist. Use that on the media, because that's all that will be in the media, that a group of racist people.
Well, it's the same old, isn't it?
White supremacists.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, they call it white supremacists.
That's exactly it, divide and conquer. But I think the public now are getting onto these lazy of racism and fascists and stuff like that. People are starting to now, and they've actually damaged the actual shout of racist, and because now they've been shouting it for so long, when it doesn't mean what it should do. They are doing it to divide us, when crimes of racism and fascism is actually happening in the country. But because they are trying to disrupt an honest group of people who just want the best for their city and their country, and they're all these people fascists and racists, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and the public need to understand what our councils are capable of. If our council are capable of doing that, then every council around this country are capable of doing it. Now we need to get this council out as quickly as we can, because they think that they're going to be able to push all their stuff that they have planned pushed down on them by the government, which is pushed down onto them by the WEF. They think they're going to be able to implement them things into our city, but I'm telling them now, once the people of this city and exactly what they're trying to implement, it will be turned around within a day. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake the majority of this city up to actually what they are trying to put onto us.
Yeah, and councils, I mean, they act now like a law unto themselves. We know that they've been doing that for years. And we went along with it because we thought this is how it is, with council tax and stuff like that. But my God, when you wake up to that, to see the corruption, it's off the charts.
And it is all councils.
Yeah. I mean, I think we realise now, and even the general public are starting to realise that you are not putting power in this country unless you are a certain type of person.
Yeah.
So we need to get rid of them all. This is where we can't allow them to back off into their little caves and wait for the next time to push it onto us. We need to win this battle, and then we need to get rid of them all. get rid of all the corruption in every council, which will then get rid of the corruption in all the governments, which is a tough ask. But I think that's what the Great Awakening is. That's what the Great Awakening is. Once the Great Awakening has happened, which is happening, more and more are waking up by the day. And once these enough people, it will, like I said before, it will turn around so quickly. And these people will be held to account. This is what I mean. They have still got time to turn around and to make their opinion different and be on the right side.
Redeem themselves, Rickie.
Yes.
Themselves, yeah.
It's about God at the moment, and they need to redeem themselves.
They've still got time to redeem themselves. That's why I was trying to say in the House of Parliament is that these MPs didn't turn up. This is a stamp of compliance, what you are doing, which will not be forgotten. Which will not be forgotten. And
you're talking about what happened on Friday now.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, you're right, Rickie, because those that didn't turn up, really, they're just showing that they're complicit with everything that's going on.
And they're not for the people. They're not for the people.
Yeah,
exactly. And I know I had my hope for some MPs, because I know I thought some of the MPs would turn up because they have got a conscience, they have got a soul, but to see them not turn up, it was absolutely devastating. But it wasn't that much of a shock. But now they know, and now it's just funny because the information what's been coming out this week over it, not just what Andrew was saying, but like in other parts of the world, is incredible. So to then see their silence, it just looks so bad on them. It couldn't a worse time for this information to come out for the MPs who didn't turn up on Friday, because like I said, the Great Awakening is happening, and the amount of people waking up is scary. And they will remember all these MPs who sat on their asses and said nothing. And because I know most of them do not want this to happen. I know most of them do not want this to happen, but they're scared to step out away from the narrative because they'll be alienated or cancelled or whatever, which will be the case. But you've got to think of the consequences if you don't. What's worse? What is worse? You getting cancelled or them implementing the system and the future, what they are trying to implement?
Which is going to affect all of their families as well. I mean, this is the thing. They're not seeing the bigger picture of how it's going to affect them, their families, and their future generations, because this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, the thing is as well, it's, they're not coming out, but why? I suppose it depends what they're involved with.
Well, they think they're protected. They think they're protected. They think they know people. They think they've got money. They think they've got land. I'm telling you now, land, money, protection will mean nothing if they bring in this social credit system and this Agenda 2130. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It doesn't matter how many bunkers that you've got and how much food you've got stored. We're all done for. We are all done for. We have got to stop this from coming in. That's the only choice we've got. Once they bring it in, like I said, everyone is on the same level. All your money's gone, your property's gone, everything's gone. They've already brought in laws that and you'll know more than me on this, but Mike Yeadon told me this on Friday, that they've changed the law of the concept of your own property. So they've changed it from you own your property and land to the government. You are only leasing it from the government, and the government can take back your property at any stage whenever a major event happens. They can literally take back your property. Is that the case?
Well, I would say this, right? We've got this close war, say, own nothing and be happy. We've got news for the people out there. Nobody owns nothing anyway. Yeah. Because everything you register, you are signed straight over to the government. So you've never owned anything. So it's easy for them to implement these little laws, which they have to put out in the Gazette. Yeah. But you see, you don't read I don't read the Gazette, and you don't read the Gazette, yeah, because that's the public news, is the Gazette. Ricky don't read the
It's
Gazette.
where they put all their public notices.
Public notices paper. So it's up to us to find all their notices that put in the public notice, like the Gazette. But of course, we don't buy the Gazette. So what they use against us is ignorance is no excuse of the law. So because we're not rebutting it then, yeah, we're becoming tacit.
We've given tacit agreement.
Tacit consent. Yeah, to that. But people don't know and need to be aware that, you know, the Gazette is the public newspaper for all their ins and outs and their notices, right? So we've got to rebut. But there's been a lot of people, Ricky, for the last 4 years, working really, really hard behind the scenes, serving notices, doing all sorts. You know, there's been a lot of infiltration. There's been a lot of people learning the different aspects of the law, not legislation, because basically it all boils down to our constitution at the end of the day. And people do need to start reading more and start digging into these old documents that they say are outdated. Well, like, why are some of these old laws still in? Because one, law is different from statutes, acts and legislation. So people needed to rebut that in the Gazette. You need to rebut it immediately. But under the 1666, we was all lost at sea for 7 years, and after 7 years, redeemed dead. Yeah, deemed dead, and then you've got time to say from for what 7-year-old is going to come forward and say, "I'm not dead, I'm back." The more you dig into it, the more it's quite pathetic, really. You see, it's annoying.
You know the game Monopoly?
Yeah.
We've all been playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Think about it. Fiat money, crap, rubbish bits of paper.
Yeah.
Buying and selling houses and hotels. We've all been in a game of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, just through registration.
We're the commodity, we're the sweat equity behind that fiat currency.
Can you get your soul back? Can you because a lady who I spoke to, Hope and Maria, they showed me ways of becoming a proper person again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
We can talk a lot after the show if you want.
Yeah, we'll discuss.
If you want to stay on after we stop recording,
yeah, because there's certain things we can't put out there, because but there are ways. There are ways, and we've been working on stuff we're in the 4th year now, not from helping others as well to, learn the Magna Carta and that.
Through our group, and everything's free in our group, by the way.
Which is a really good grounding, that's like your groundwork, and get all these on notice, because as much as they believe that they're protected, you see, they think that when we talk about trials, they think they're going to be standing in one of these county courts, you see, one of these kangaroo courts. Yeah. And all it is administrative building. They're not real judges, And I've gone through a case, not with any lawyers or what have you, but I've proved it, that it is all absolute fake. It really is fake. So regarding what we were just saying, we can we'll stay on and have a chat after. But,
all these laws,
everyone can do the Magna Carta. get on it. The paperwork's free. We will help you with the paperwork.
Yeah.
And, you know, because if you want people to be held accountable for things that they've done, then
You've got to put them on notice.
you've got to
Because
put them on
it
notice.
has to be a notice, Ricky, because we've been doing the cops, courts, and councils, the 3 C's. That's the Illuminati. That's the Illuminati triangle right there. The cops, courts, and councils work hand in hand. And our group, under these Magna Carta notices and following a guy called David Robinson's work, who unfortunately, God rest his soul, he passed over in 2021.
Or 22.
No, 2021.
Oh,
Two
okay.
different dates I've had. But basically, so thousands of us, not just in this country, because it's under our constitution, because all monarchs in this country are heads of state. That means the heads of state, you see, over the Commonwealth and former Commonwealth countries. Yeah. And we're all in this together. Right. So there's been thousands of us working behind the scenes, putting the cops, courts, and councils on. And all I can say to you, Ricky, is this: by putting them on notice in groups, in large numbers, we keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
And for where we live, you know, just in 4 years, we've had 3 CEOs, and now our council. Stepped down, and now our council is actually going bankrupt.
No, they are bankrupt. They've officially.
They've filed a 144.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But however, I'm saying that
and
all these directors and the CEO have just moved to a different company, calling themselves West Midlands Combined Authority. So
they're all LLPs.
What has really happened there? Have they just opened up another company and scooped all
yes,
money?
However, officially, it's on the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a company goes bankrupt, and this is what you got to look out for in your councils, is this: if they go bankrupt, then by right you should be waiting for the official receiver to contact you under that bankruptcy, because they've put themselves as a corporation on Companies House. They're also on Dun and Bradstreet with all the numbers. But we know that quite a few years ago, all councils went to limited liability partnerships, right? They have not informed the public of their changes. They've just carried on as usual, because for them it's business as usual. And they've joined forces into all these different wards and pulled them all together. We believe it's like, because getting ready for the new ward order, collapsing everything and all going into one.
Yeah.
We also, you know, on Companies House, you can find all these companies, and this is what we urge people to do. Go into your council, you'll find it. So you'll put your council address in the search bar at the top. So it'll be Liverpool County Council, Companies House in the search bar. You can get straight on with it, and then it'll say Liverpool County Council, for instance, and then underneath that you'll find another company that's acting as an LLP, a limited liability partnership, right? But they've not informed the people. So using like Liverpool City Council paperwork is actually fraudulent.
Yeah.
It's fraud.
So
they're still taking money. They're still taking money from people's direct debit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our friend actually phoned up.
Yeah, a friend of ours, they took a council tax, I think it was last week. And she's like, what the hell? These people have gone bankrupt. So obviously she's phoned the bank and done the direct debit indemnity thing.
So sorry, they've gone bankrupt.
You know, they've gone bankrupt, and the bank have gone, oh yeah, they have, haven't they?
Can't deny it, because it's been on mainstream media.
So they're still taking people's money, and they shouldn't be doing that.
But she got her money back.
She got it back, but you know, obviously.
Did the bank just give it to her, or did she have to go through?
No, the bank put it back into her account.
Under the direct debit indemnity, they have to.
Yeah.
If this just simple information like that got out to the people,
well, this is why we do these truther shows. The other thing is as well, she was telling us how it works, that the bank take the money from the direct debit, yeah, and then the bank pays, so it goes into a special fund, and then the bank pays, say, the council. So now the bank has paid her direct debit indemnity, yeah, so insurance, yeah. So the bank has paid her back. Now the bank has to go after the council to get their money.
It's not your problem.
So it's not their problem, not your problem anymore. You just deal with your bank because you've had the direct debit. And it's in their policy on your bank's website. It'll be about direct debit indemnity. They might call it something else because obviously they try and hide these things.
It's any payment that's been paid in error.
Yeah, that's it.
So can you go for anyone personally there, or a company, or like can you try?
In what capacity? What do you mean? Go for anyone?
So these are legally taking money from people. So not only can you get your money back, can you take these to court?
There's a set of rules that you have to follow, and everything has to be paid in error. So maybe a wrong amount, or maybe they've took it out of your bank account and left you destitute, or there's a set of rules which we can send to you after the show as well, Ricky. Yeah, it's becoming common knowledge. But we could discuss a few things afterwards.
You know, and if anybody wants to know more about it, then they can join the Magna Carta group, because you see,
we don't really talk about anything but the Magna Carta.
Yeah, exactly. However, you know, people get on the Magna Carta because, okay, you get your money back, but do you want these people held accountable for what they've been doing?
All right,
you know, that's
okay.
This
is what happened. Is people was doing that, which we're not the experts on that, but we know people have claimed their money, and then basically some of the people was worried because they didn't know what to do once the bank had given back the money, and some people have got thousands, by the way. Yeah, it's a process that we haven't done, but we've heard of and heard of successes. However, then these companies will come after you for that money. But the bank has got to give it to you back. So we had a lot of people coming to us basically when, you know, it hit the fan then, and then you put them on notice. What we do, Ricky, is we can't. No one can tell anyone what to do. This is the first thing that we need to get out there. It has to be the decision individually. When's enough? Yeah. Do you know about, this is our question to people, do you know about the kids? Yeah, right. You know about the frauds with the banks and the councils and everything else. Okay, well then now that's your decision to take up your pen then
and fight.
The pen is mightier than the sword. So we've got a notice process, but we urge people to do the cops, courts and councils first, Ricky, as a groundwork.
Because they're the ones that are perpetrating.
Yeah, everything. They are responsible for everything. They're responsible for the parking. They're responsible for the 15-minute cities.
Yeah,
you know,
stealing kids. Let's not forget that one, because that's still going on.
And we heard of all these people come to us with the most heart-wrenching stories. So when we're going out there and people are after money and everything, I say, look, pause and just do your groundwork first, because it's not about the money, but it's about the principle of it. And that's really going on. But you've got to be, everyone has to be responsible for themselves. Yep, there's loads of information out there. Yes, there's lots of groups coming together now, which we think is an absolutely fantastic idea, that people join forces now, putting all their expertise together and all these different methods that we've got and the knowledge and whatever in helping people on the maps. But the groundwork, you've got the courts and councils, we feel is very important, because what that's doing is warning them in advance what you're standing under. Yeah. And all you're asking them to do is to rebut. And you say anything. So go on.
You're going to help us with the Liverpool Council, aren't you? Because we need to put them on notice as well that they are.
Yeah, you do it under the Magna Carta notices.
We've tried to get into that council meeting now a number of times to speak about these 13 zones, 13 neighbourhoods, which we all know are 15-minute cities. And that's just one thing. I'm not even going on to other things what are getting done in this city and what have happened. especially through the council. I'm not even going to begin on that, but just on that one simple thing, we can put can you help us with that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's all free, Ricky. People can go onto the site, they can download it. There's little videos. You take an oath first. It's oath to self. It's all to do with the barons and whatever. But we do the oath to self because we did have a problem with some of the barons' letters coming back quite a few years ago, because there was thousands of people that were sending it to the barons. But we're just, you know, we the people have had enough.
Yeah.
And we use what we can.
The thing is, right, we know that there are loads of people out there sending all different notices, and absolutely
Brilliant.
fair play. It doesn't matter what notices they're sending, as long as they're opposing, and we praise every single one of
We
them.
do.
Yeah. Now, we also know that when they get these notices, they completely ignore it because they are sitting pretty, thinking they're okay because their mates or their Mason mates are going to protect them. Yeah. Well, that might be the case immediately, but things are changing. Different things are coming. Court de jures are coming, and they won't be protected. So if people are being violated now, get them on notice.
Get the evidence.
Get the evidence.
It's the evidence we
It's
need.
collecting the evidence. Yeah. Because do we want these people to get away with it? Yes. Okay. You might be able to ring up and get your direct debit indemnity refund. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still want them to get away with it because they've been doing this for years.
So
To people.
put them on notice.
Put them on
So
notice.
what you're saying, what you're saying is, get them on notice, tell them exactly done what you want to happen, and even though that they will ignore you now, and nothing might happen right now, you've got the evidence there documented at the time. So when times do change,
That's
these
right.
people who think that they're going to get away by ignoring you and just being silent, which means complicit,
Yes. Yeah.
it will come in the future.
Absolutely.
But the good thing about
And
the Magna Carta notices is that number one points out all the 20 years of research that's been done when Article 61 was invoked, which was the 23rd of March 2001, which deposed the Queen, and all governments was dissolved on that date. On the 24th of March, it went into the Daily Telegraph. We've got an original copy, a photograph of the original newspaper that it went to. Everything's in the group, and also what it tells you to do under Article 61. Okay, so we've got the evidence there, and then the first notice points out all these facts to the government. Of course, they come back. Well, it's very cleverly been put together. So 10 days later, you'll send, say, for instance, you'll send a notice of obligation standing in law. And then 10 days later, you'll send what's called a notice of default, an opportunity to cure. So you're giving them then another 10 days to cure this opportunity to prove to us that the Magna Carta was revoked.
Which it wasn't.
Which it wasn't. No, it's been unrebutted to date. Then it's been revoked. I mean, it also tells them they've got 10 days from the second notice. And if we don't hear of them in 10 days, it means they agree with notice 2 and 1. So that makes them tacit. Yeah, that's then tacit agreement. So it's reversed it back on them. If they do get back to you, however, that's called sedition, because that's now denying our constitution. And sedition carries a full asset stripping and life imprisonment. And this is what we tell them in the notices. Okay. So it's very important to do the groundwork. And then you go to notice number 3, it's the default. And then notice number 4, at 10 days, it's every 10 days, 10 days later. It's a notice of treason, misprisonment, treason, and all of that. And then 10 days after that, you do a notice to stop. Now, once your groundwork is done, Ricky, you're done. Then what we say to people is, you know how to serve notice now. Okay, so they're learning something as well as like serving notice. But you said going forward with the other process, what people and other groups are doing. For instance, an example, you can't do a lien. Do you know what a lien is?
No.
Okay, well, you can explain the lien.
Okay, a lien is literally stripping them of everything. Yeah, so you have to do a notice process.
You can't do a lien without a notice process.
Exactly. So a lien is where you are, I don't know the full
Well,
term.
a lien is actually, it puts something on them for 99 years that they can't sell their property, their business, and nothing.
It strips them of everything. The only thing they're allowed to keep are their photographs and diaries. Yeah. And this process is non-judicial. So you don't even have to go through a court to do this. Yeah. So let's say you put, you know, the CEO and the 3 directors, then you put 4 million on each of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to rebut what you're saying in this, you know, this lien. But because you've already done your notice process that they haven't rebutted, you put this lien in. Now they are under obligation to pay that money. That right now, do you know you can to retrieve that money? You can actually stand on the steps of a court and have an auction with that pack.
You can put it in the newspaper.
You can advertise it, and somebody will come, and you might say, you know, come and buy this. You can have this. I only want 1% of it.
1% of 4 million.
Well, if you've got 4 people at 4 million apiece,
yeah,
you know, there's 60 million.
So say a firm takes that and says, yeah, we'll give you £10,000, and then this firm goes and chases this person for 4 million.
That's up to
it's
them.
up to them then once you sell it. But
how would this person or firm do that?
That's not our problem.
If they buy it, it's like a bailiff buying it.
It's like a bailiff, right? It's like a bailiff buying their, you know, what they're calling alleged debt, and then they come to us and we see them off because they're third-party interlopers. A lien's a bit different. Yeah, it's a little bit different. You can actually just keep it in your trust. Just keep it there. And they're not allowed to actually sell their property or anything because it all belongs
to
you.
It's other groups that's doing this, but our point is, Rickie, you can't do a lien without doing a notice process. So there's so many reasons why people should put them on notice anyway.
We don't, to be fair, we don't know the
that's what I said.
Exact lien process. So it was fair saying, oh, you can take it from there. We don't know the exact process, but we know it exists.
Yeah.
And we know what it can do, and we know it can devastate their lives. So they need to be very careful.
Because people are getting very savvy out there.
Yeah, and people are already doing liens. They've already done liens, you know.
So we know people who've done them.
Who's going to, you know, who's going to turn, for somebody who can afford it, who's going to turn their nose up at 16 million if they've only got to pay you 1%? I'd bleed and give it to them for nothing. And that's, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think the way that it would all change as well is that if the people, like the people with wealth, people who've got businesses, people whose families are involved with other families who are high up, a lot of these people are good people. And if these people start understanding stuff like this and understanding what Agenda 2030 is and understanding exactly what they're trying to implement, these are the people who will genuinely put pressure on the people at the top, because there's a lot of people at the top who do not want this to go through, who do not want that future for their children. So if it's that group of people who we need to get on board.
Exactly, yeah.
And if they can put enough pressure, they will start to jump ship at the top. They will start to jump ship because they will not want to be on that ship when it's getting sunk at all. So they will start jumping ship. And once a few start jumping ship, they will all start jumping ship and they will change everything. They will back off and they will change everything. We just need to put pressure on that group of people.
Absolutely. You know, if they just get on the Magna Carta, but like I said, what it boils down to is it depends what they've been involved in, Ricky. You know,
Yeah.
we know you could meet somebody, the loveliest person on the planet. Look what we found out the last 3 years,
Yeah.
you know, about certain people. And we thought, oh my God, you know, we thought they were absolutely marvelous. And it turns out that they're bloody not. You know, so
but you are right. There is got a lot of good people out there.
There are a lot of good people,
and it's going to take people like you, Ricky.
Yeah,
that's got a following. This is why we feel it's important that you get yourself out there as much as possible, because you see, where's all those footballers? Because you know, I'm like Babbitt. The only thing I know about the football is obviously the supporters. To be honest, growing up as a kid. You know, we had Birmingham City Football Ground or Aston Villa. That was our choice round here. So, you know, all these supporters going and all these young kids going out there, we've got to reach those footballers.
I know. I totally agree. And like I said before, the reason why a lot of footballers or ex-footballers are not saying nothing, even if they believe in what I say and what you say and what a lot of people are now saying, is that they think that it won't affect them. So they think that they don't have to. They generally think they're going to be okay no matter what. Which I'm trying to tell these people, you're not. No. You're not. Your children are going to have to be.
The unfortunate thing, Ricky, is that people don't react until the shit is on their doorstep, do they?
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that the health of your family are in direct danger if they implement this social credit system and this Agenda 2130. The health of your family is in direct contact with this if it goes through. So now if you understand that, you've got to start speaking out. And I've tried to urge people to speak out, not just like people with a backing or a load of followers. You, the average person out there, you start speaking to your friends. You need to start speaking to your friends and family and getting the talk going. But no, especially with the football community, just the football community can turn this around.
Just absolutely.
I hate putting politics into football. I hated it when I was a footballer, and I hate it now. This is completely different. This is the future of your family, which is in a direct threat to what is coming.
So, well, it's through good people like yourself and Matt Letitia that's like speaking out, and we applaud you for that, Ricky. We really do. We've got great respect for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I've got children, so I don't see it as a choice. To be honest, I don't see it as a choice. I don't feel like I'm doing good.
Choice. Yeah.
It's just I know I have to do.
Yeah.
Once you've seen what you've seen, you can't unsee it. Once you've heard what you've heard, you can't unhear it.
Once you know what you know, it's I can't go back. You can't go back. Yeah. And this is why I wonder now at this stage of the game, for want of a better word, what do they know? What have they been involved in? That's what they've got to ask themselves. What have they been involved in? Why are they not speaking up?
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
They need to all go.
You know, we had
a lot of them.
We had Matt Hoy on a few weeks ago, and you know, he's awake as well, thank goodness. And you know, even he said about a thing that they had some sort of venue, and they were asked if they'd go and speak to the sponsor. And we haven't actually put that video out yet. And the only reason is we've got somebody working on it to take a few bits out, because he mentioned about that. And you're not allowed. We can't. We already got a strike.
We've got a strike. It was News Channel. We've got to strike straight away. You can't think, you know.
So we've got somebody sorting that out. But he was on about this so that they would ask to go to the sponsor because he'd put up 30 grand or something. And when they got to this place with this old geezer who put this money up, there was 3 young girls, pregnant, 3 young girls, absolutely off their head in drugs, you know, with drugs, obviously.
Can only assume what's going on.
And, you know, what the hell, knowing what we know, I mean,
but
we know what's
he
going on
went
there.
into more detail, and one of his friends had like blood on his hands, which was on
It was,
unexplainable.
we'll get that video out soon anyway.
I mean,
so
You definitely do need to get that video out. I think that is the point when I think everyone will come together, is when they realise what these elites, these secret societies, because these secret societies, these are the groups of people, mostly men, who control the world. And
Ricky, some of those women are in the secret societies too. I think they're just as bad as the men.
Yeah.
The women are rife too.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people realise actually what these do to children, and then I think that will unite the world. I think that will wake more people up than anything that has ever been spoken about, Agenda 21 or the social credit system. That is not waking enough people up at the rate that when people find out exactly what the elites do, then I think that will be the turning point.
Well, I mean, there might be celebs, footballers, etc. out there that they kind of know something, they feel something, they might have even seen something.
That's who we want to come forward.
Those are the ones we need to come forward.
Yeah.
Even if they come forward and work in the background with us, do you know what I mean? Until they feel ready. Because they might feel guilty for actually knowing something. I'm not saying involved, but just knowing something that perhaps happened, 10, 20 years ago, whatever.
It's all to do with whistleblowers.
Do you know what I mean? And they might feel, oh my God, how can I come out and say that? And I really want to do that. But I should have said something back then, and they might feel bad. Do you know where I'm coming from, Rick?
I know what you're saying, but I think people, as long as they haven't done anything personally,
Exactly.
I think people will forgive them. I think people will forgive them 100%, because we all know how much pressure people are put under when they see stuff that they shouldn't have seen, even if they're that type of person. They have obviously been blackmailed or pressured into not saying nothing, which they chose not to. Okay, that's fine, but still come forward now.
You all will be forgiven. Just come forward and whistleblow and be on the right side of God.
You know, go
on the right side of the
go
people.
And speak to Ricky, phone him, or come to us. You know, whatever. Because
you're running out of time.
You're running out of time.
You're running out of time. This is the message to all them out there. You are running out of time.
Yeah, I mean, Ricardo Bosi put on a great video few days ago. Actually, I think it was a while back, but he put it out again, and he was saying about you're running out of time. It's coming to the end, and if you don't redeem yourself, and we're saying the same to people in this country and across the planet, if they don't redeem themselves, it's going to be too late. Too late.
Exactly.
You know, they've got to understand we're in the last book now. We're in the book of Revelations, and, you know, at the very least, read the book. Read that last book in the Bible. And I'm not coming from a religious angle, because we know that's all been infiltrated.
I don't go to church.
You know, we're not coming from that. We do believe in our divine creator, you know, certainly not religion, but, you know, at the very least, read the book of Revelations, and that we can see what's already happened around the world. It's all there laid out.
The 7 seals, one of the 7 seals.
And they are running out of time.
I mean, I don't really want to talk about it, but it says a lot about Israel, doesn't it? And Israel going to war, and then you see what's happening in the world today, and that is literally the final stages, isn't it?
But Ricky,
apparently,
a video's surfaced to you know, and going round.
Come to our attention.
That's right. That Edinburgh could be the real Jerusalem.
Have you seen it?
No.
God, it's amazing.
Yeah, it makes me think.
So they're not making us look over there when we need to look here, because we was told back in 2020 England's going to be last.
Yeah,
And you think about that hymn, and was Jerusalem builded here?
go on, sing it.
You know that.
Do you remember the hymn? And was Jerusalem builded here among those dark satanic mills?
What the hell?
Dark
Yeah.
satanic mills.
Was-
We used to sing that in assembly school.
In England, but this Edinburgh thing could be the real Jerusalem. And if that's the case, we can they're on Jerusalem. We'll send you that video anyway.
Yeah,
It's
you can have
fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
There
No,
is so
definitely.
much, Ricky. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. If you're gonna, well, you
We
won't,
do
you
know.
won't know. You know, you don't really know much about what we do or the ins and outs. But a lot of people have come to us. We've made a lot of contacts, and we get to hear about certain things that's going on. That one of the most incredible things that we heard is of our now friend Selwyn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this.
Selwyn Stevens is from New Zealand, and he's got a PhD in theology. He's a minister. He's wrote 35 books, and in fact, you know, we had him on the show, kind of out in the Masons, because he wrote a book called Unmasking the Masons.
Yeah.
And it's quite good, actually, the book.
The bolt cut of prayer and everything.
With the
That's
bolt
brilliant.
cut of prayer. So even people in that organization that, you know, haven't been involved in nefarious things, you know,
Yeah.
they need to,
They could
walk
redeem
away
themselves
and
with one of
redeem,
these bolt cut of
you
prayer
know.
from this book
But
of Selwyn's.
from our understanding, there's two factions, and as we know that, you know, I used to say for years, you know, there's balanced and unbalanced in every, you know, in every organization. Now we know that unbalanced is absolute evil. But we've also been doing some research lately about the Masons and the Knights Templars.
The
And
Knights.
we come across a different faction of Templars, and they're called the Knights, the Hospitallers. So have a look into that as well. I mean,
You've got the
there's so
Knights
much.
Templars and you've got the Knights Hospitallers. But when you look at the Hospitallers, you realise that that's like a switch.
Yeah. But you know, it's best that we don't discuss that.
Yeah, true.
For what we found out about it.
Yeah.
For people to go out and have a look at that as well, because we personally do believe, you know, Knights Templars, you know, that they were again another organization that started off really good
And got infiltrated.
and got infiltrated, you know, not to mention what was his name, Jacques de Molay, who was burned at the stake, you know, what they've done to him in France.
Well, there's a great
But there
series.
must have been some good ones. There must have been good ones that got away. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the people who go into this, they might be good people, and as the time goes by, they are getting. This is only my opinion, that before they know it, they are in deeper than they thought they would ever want to be, and like you said before, they're struggling to think of a way out. They think they're in for life, which they might be. I don't know. They might. I know spells get put onto these people that before they know it, they're in deeper, way deeper than they ever thought it was going to get.
This book that Selwyn has wrote,
It's fantastic.
it's called Unmasking Masonry, and in that book there's a prayer in there called the Bolt Cutter's Prayer, and this is for people in that organization that want to get out because they know they've been cursed, and like he said, greed gets them in and fear keeps them in, so they're scared to come out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's an amazing man, and all they need to do is get this book, and they can do the bolt cutter prayer as long as it's coming from their heart and their soul and that will redeem them, and that will take the curses, which, because they have cursed their families,
Every level they're cursing their family. They don't realise.
the
level.
ancestors, their existing family and their future families. So they can get this book, they can do that bolt cutter prayer if they're absolutely genuine, and lift those curses and turn to the divine creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
So,
said.
you know, that's a fantastic book for anyone out there that's scared and they're looking for, you know, this is why it's good for us to have different people in from different walks of life, like yourself. Now we're going to hopefully get the fans on board, and you know, just trying to appeal to anybody that's in there, that's trying to find a way out, or they just feel absolutely uselessly stuck in it. There is a way out. There is.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
unless they've done nefarious stuff, then that's not that's not our job then. That's God will judge then. Yeah. But
They've got that choice, and they still have a choice now. Like you said, if they've already made that choice and it was the wrong choice, then there's nothing we can do for them people. But the people who've been put in a situation and they want to get out and they haven't made that choice, then like you said, there's still time to turn this around.
There's solutions out there. There's solutions out there. There is
time, but time's running out. So
and we as a nation and a people and all standing together will respect them for coming forward and standing with the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That will be nothing but respected. But none of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes, Ricky.
Yeah.
You know,
no, I agree.
Totally agree. We all know the difference between right and wrong.
Yes, I totally agree. It's going to be interesting times, because the movement just this last week has been incredible to see. Incredible to see. Who would have thought that we would have been able to get an MP in the House of Parliament speaking the way he spoke, and the fact that he's done that has opened the gates now for. There has got to be a debate in Parliament with where the MPs have to turn up. That, I think, is going to happen. Whoever thought that would be in the head of the snake, London?
I know.
Whoever thought? And that's happening. That is happening. So that, if that doesn't show the people who we've just been talking about that things are turning.
Yes, that's right. Praise
you just wait and see until we get that debate properly in Parliament, because all around the world now, proof is coming out. And like you said, you don't want to talk about it on this show, but proof is out there now, and it is undeniable what has happened over the last 3 years. Undeniable. People just need to start putting the blocks together. Why has it happened? What have they got planned coming? And once people start doing that, because you can't be told it, you know that, ladies, you can't be told it by someone. You have to put the blocks together yourself. So all I've been doing is trying to drop seeds from the past to the present, and hopefully people will pick the seeds what hit their nerve, and then they start putting their story together, and then become awakened like the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my daughter tells me that TikTok is just like exploding. She said, "Mom, there's more youngsters awake than what you think."
Yeah.
So she keeps me up to date with that.
Yeah, good.
Right. Yeah, anyway, I don't know how we doing for time. Been on about an hour, I think.
Yeah.
But Ricky, it's been great having you on.
No, I've loved it.
Lovely to see you again. We did have a hug, didn't we, at that meeting we went to, which we won't discuss because that's all blown up in the bloody air, isn't it?
Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Moving on.
But moving on. But anyway, I mean, if you don't mind, Matt, if you don't mind just speaking about Matt's nights out in Birmingham.
Do you know about that?
Christmas knees up.
Oh, yes.
I spoke about he wants to do just a night out. Everyone's worked so hard. So on the 15th of December,
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, the 15th of December. So Matt will actually be on stage, and then there'll be a DJ, and we're collecting money for
We're collecting things for a raffle.
a raffle,
Not money, things for a raffle.
So what Matt wants to do is with that money, get these food parcels set up. So there's a team of people that can go and hand them out.
We'll do it as
round about Christmas time to the homeless. And I think, you know, these charities have all been infiltrated as well. So if we could do something, or like, you know, people will help, I'm sure, to take it direct to the people again. And that will be the homeless, because our veterans are suffering on the streets right now.
Yeah.
That's despicable anyway. But going back to the 15th, it'll be in Birmingham.
So I don't know if you can see this.
The tickets are on sale.
Yes. Yeah.
For everyone out there. So Matoy, 15th of December, 7 o'clock. Now we're having a meeting, another Zoom meeting later on today with Mark Atwood and Matt, because Mark's looking at doing a premiere. His premiere, you know,
in the daytime.
You know, he went to America on the trip. Yeah. So you know, he's got this film, and so he's looking at having his premiere in the day. So we'll combine the two. We'll have him in the afternoon, and then
it'll be a great day.
You know, the night.
Ladies, me and my wife will be there, Amy.
Brilliant.
So we will be there. I love going to meet people like yourself and other awakened people. It makes me feel so. It fills me with hope. Fills me with hope when I'm with people like yourself.
It's great when you're with like-minded people.
Yeah,
because you're all on the same. You're on the same wavelength.
It's very hard
to go. Yeah.
It's very hard to go back to the 3D conversations.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. You can't.
We've got some friends and they say, oh, we're going out this evening with our 3D friends.
Yeah.
We're going out with our 3D friends. No, we can't cope with it. No way. It's that's 3D friends. It is. But anyway, as soon as we get, I'll send this to you of Matt. I just showed you, and then when we get something done up for Mark, we'll send you that as well. And the tickets are going to be 15 quid per. Which is nothing. Everyone can afford that.
Yeah. No, I can't. We can't wait for it. Honestly, it's going to be a day. It's going to be a brilliant day. Yeah.
So we'll send you the link as well, but so good. People can use
the room holds 350 people, doesn't it?
So we should,
so it'll be a good night.
But that'll be it then, 315. Then that's it. But we'll send you that, and then if you can send it on then, and
I definitely will.
Probably got people around you that would like to go as well.
Yeah. Well, tickets on sale now for Matt. Mark's just got to go do his thing. I don't know whether he wants to do it on the door or whatever, but the trouble is the room capacity. So, you know, the tickets are there on sale. So it's first come, first serve, to be honest.
I mean, our little team here, they've all bought their tickets already. I mean, we haven't even got ours yet.
No, we've got to buy ours.
We've got to get ours
as well. So we're looking for donations for Matt's raffle for the night. So, you know, any donations are greatly received. You know,
sorry, but we blanked you out there a bit. Go on. What was you saying?
I want to see if I can get you a couple of things for that auction. So to help.
That'd be great. Maybe you could get a signed shirt or something.
Yeah.
But Mark's the good thing about Mark in the daytime is, I mean, obviously he goes everywhere with Kieran, who does all his filming. Because we met Mark first when we went to his event in Ireland, didn't we? Absolutely fabulous. Then we met Tom Numbers, and Tom called us the Magna Carta sisters, and you know, it's just gone from there, to be honest. And so great bunch of people. Blew us away with all the numbers around the Magna Carta, of course, because what Tom does best is the number.
That's brilliant. I'm in contact with Tom a lot, so love Tom.
No, they're great guys. Great guys. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to coming. We look forward to coming.
Look forward to seeing you. Yeah.
So what we could do then, Ricky, is end that show for today, and honestly, and then just stay on after,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just
So
stay
I'll
afterwards.
take the recording off, and then we'll have a little.
A little dialogue. But yeah, thank you for today.
Yeah.
And hopefully for the viewers out there can obviously, you know, see another great truther who's coming out. So what we're saying to people is just do your research. Don't believe us. Just go digging.
And as Mark Atwood's book says, God wins.
Wins. Ladies, my pleasure.
God bless.
God bless you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.